This is SkyTour news for September 10th to the 16th. I'm Amanda Curran. September 12th, 1959. Luna 2 is launched. Luna 2 was the second of the Soviet Union's Luna program spacecraft launched to the Moon. It was the first spacecraft to reach the surface of the Moon and the first man-made object to land on another celestial body. On September 13, 1959, it hit the Moon's surface east of Mare Imbrium. Luna 2 took a direct path to the Moon, with a velocity high enough to result in a travel time of around 36 hours. Luna 2 hit the Moon about 500 miles from the center of the visible disk on September 13, 1959. Once Luna 2 was split from its upper stage, it started transmitting information back to Earth using 3 different transmitters. These transmitters provided precise information on its course, allowing scientists to calculate that Luna 2 would hit its mark on the Moon. In order to be able to provide a visual from Earth on September 13th, the spacecraft released a vapor cloud that would expand to a 400-mile diameter that would be seen by several observatories. This vapor cloud also acted as an experiment to see how the sodium gas would act in a vacuum and zero gravity. The last stage of the rocket that carried Luna 2 did not carry any tracking device, so there was an uncertainty as to where it landed, but it did hit the Moon's surface about 30 minutes after Luna 2 hit. September 11, 1997. The Mars Global Surveyor reaches Mars. The Mars Global Surveyor was an American robotic spacecraft developed by NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory and launched November 1996. Mars Global Surveyor was a global mapping mission that examined the entire planet from the ionosphere down through the atmosphere to the surface. As part of the larger Mars exploration program, Mars Global Surveyor performed monitoring relay from sister orbiters during aerobraking and to help Mars rovers and lander missions by identifying potential landing sites and relaying surface telemetry. The Mars Global Surveyor was able to characterize the surface features and geological processes on Mars, determine the composition, distribution, and physical properties of surface minerals, rock, and ice, determine the planet shape and gravitational field, and establish the nature of the magnetic field and map the crustal remnant field. During its extended mission, it was also able to continue weather monitoring to form a continuous set of observations with NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter, which reached Mars in March of 2006, image possible landing sites for the 2007 Phoenix spacecraft and the 2011 Curiosity rover, and continued to monitor changes on the surface due to wind and ice. The Mars Global Surveyor completed its primary mission in January 2001 and was in its third extended mission phase when on November 2, 2006, the spacecraft failed to respond to messages and commands. A faint signal was detected 3 days later, which indicated that it had gone into safe mode. Attempts to reconnect the spacecraft and resolve the problem failed, and NASA officially ended the mission in January 2007. September 14, 2007. Selene is launched. Selenological and Engineering Explorer, or Selene, better known in Japan by its name Kagaya, was the second Japanese lunar orbiter spacecraft following the Hiten probe. Produced by the Institute of Space and Aeronautical Science and the National Space Development Agency, the spacecraft was launched on September 14, 2007. The orbiter's nickname, Kagaya, was selected by the general public. It comes from the name of a lunar princess in the ancient Japanese folklore, the tale of the bamboo cutter. After their successful release, its sub-satellites, R-star and V-star, were named Okina and Ouna, also derived from characters in the tale. The main scientific objective for the mission was to study the origins of the Moon and its geological evolution, obtain information about the lunar surface environment, and perform radio science, especially precise measurements of the Moon's gravity field. Major results included improved lunar global typography maps that detailed altitude and geological data, which was provided to Google for free to make Google Moon 3D, detailed gravity maps from the far side of the moon, had the first optical observation of the permanently shadowed interior of the crater Shackleton at the lunar South Pole, and provided evidence of Earth's oxygen being transported to the moon via magnetospheric ions. Selene was part of the renewed global interest in lunar exploration, as it was the largest lunar mission since the Apollo program. After successfully orbiting the moon for a year and 8 months, the main orbiter was instructed to impact on the lunar surface near the crater Gill on June 10, 2009. This is SkyTour News. I'm Amanda Curtis.